Just about. Yeah, we're live. Good
Right.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody.
My name's Paul Bursey, and this is SuccessCafe.tv. It is a podcast and Facebook Live, and it goes out on YouTube as well. So we'll apologise if we get anything wrong that you don't understand, visual or auditory or whatever. But
if you hear any noises in the background, it's a family environment. So,
Warren, would you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. Warren Conley here, coming to you from a sunny Hungary. It's nice inclement weather today, and busy environment right now, which is really relevant to the conversation we're going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking out the window, and it is bit misty, slightly misty, grey skies, lots of rain. Typical UK.
Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like I'm in Wales because that's always raining there when I go there. Anyway, today's subject: entrepreneurs conquer the chaos. Now, before we get going, okay, just to let you know that Warren is going to make an offer to you at the end. So please stay to the end, and hopefully you'll listen to us in the meantime. Okay. But entrepreneurs, yeah. So conquer the chaos. What did I mean by conquering the chaos? So I know Warren knows exactly what I mean. So I'm going to get you to explain what the headline is about.
Get rid of the chaos.
Get rid of the bedlam.
Find some peace and tranquility in your life. No, getting rid of the chaos is blocking out the noise. And for many of us now, we are living in an environment where working from home has become the norm, and chaos is part and parcel of our existence, our environments right now. And even if you come from a working environment like a workspace, very often it's chaotic at the best of times. Now, that is one element of chaos. The other element of chaos is what's going on inside here. And this is something else that we're going to touch on today as well, is the chaos from outside and the chaos from inside.
Yeah, and because we'll all have our own description of what chaos is. Although there'll be a lot of common stuff, But I think it's important to. We could have said entrepreneurs like to conquer their own chaos. Okay, because it's your own chaos, really, that is the challenge. So let's start off by talking about inside, the premises, the environment, because some people can thrive in one environment where others can't. So can you give us an example of that? I'm laughing because I know he's got a great example. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, just today, as is the case on most Wednesdays, it's a bit chaotic here for the best part, within a very short space of time as well. It's there's a music lesson happening here. I'm preparing for the podcast. I'm getting myself ready for the podcast, and then it's all of a sudden it just quietens down within the space of 5-10 minutes just prior to the podcast. And that chaos dissipates. And when you're working in a home environment and you don't actually have an office space or a space where you have some solitude, peace, and quiet guaranteed, you've got to learn how to deal with that chaos that comes with it. And you can't control your external factors all the time. Most of the time we can't. So you've got to kind of like not go with it, because that's not really the right way to look at it. But you've got to go with the punches, roll with the punches, for choice of a better expression. I can't think of a better expression right now, but you got to learn how to roll with the punches. And if anybody's ever done any form of martial arts or fighting or any kind of like that, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You've got to kind of adapt on the go regularly. So today was a bit chaotic for me this afternoon. but that's okay because it's a learn. I look at it as a learning curve. I look at it as a learning curve for me and how I'm applying what I'm doing in my life into into my business and vice versa.
So because the other thing we were talking about was the fact about an entrepreneur. I mean, they're all different types of entrepreneur, but entrepreneurs necessarily versus creativity or creatives. So in the same household, you could have someone who's untidy, a creative, because they like just to flow with what they're doing. Okay. And you could have someone like, let's say me, who likes it tidy and quiet and serene when I'm doing something like this, you know.
Yes.
And yes, we all have to adapt as things happen. But this is one part of the chaos that you have to learn to deal with or remove. Yeah, there's two ways of going, isn't there? So now a lot of entrepreneurs, they have crystal clear vision and laser focus on what they want to do. And if you've got something that's happening to the side of you, it can destroy your focus and your concentration, and you lose track of what you're doing. So as entrepreneurs, you've got to pick your environment as much as you can and control it. Now, I know it's not always possible to do that, but it's what you should aim for is the environment that you like to work in. It could be like sometimes if I'm writing, I like to have a bit of background music.
Yeah.
So I go on YouTube and find study music, and it's fantastic because I love working to study music. It's quite enough not to cause a problem.
True.
But if
and it can help you. It can help you to stay focused.
Yeah.
Aside from whatever else is going on around you.
Yeah. It doesn't affect the flow of the creative writing.
True.
It's not intrusive. So I think that's what you've got to avoid. You've got to find what's intrusive for you. You know, what doesn't work for you, and then adapt how you want it to go. I think that would be a fair way of explaining it.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good way. And look, there's also the other side of an entrepreneur where you like to be engaging with other people. You like to be engaging with different things all the time, regularly. You know, you can focus in short blocks and small portions of your day where you're focusing, say, for 20 minutes, 30 minutes at a time. And then you like to engage, you like to be interacting. So, but if you're working in an environment which is in home or even an office space, you know, you're working with a group of other people within a company, there may be too much engagement going on. And then that creates chaos because now you as the creative thinker, you as the genius, or you as the firebrand, however you want to see yourself as an entrepreneur, you can thrive on that, but at the same time, it's not being necessarily very productive for you and your business, which can be a pitfall. So it's about, again, as Paul said, it's about being able to use that, identify with that, and then be able to take that and then change the situation as best that you can, and adapt it to your circumstances. So perhaps music is an important key here, because the right music can really help you to stay focused and remain away from all the distractions.
Yeah, I think as far as chaos is concerned, I mean, look, some people feel trapped as an entrepreneur. They feel confused. They feel controlled, and you have to sort this out. Whatever it is that's bugging you, you have to sort it out, and find the ideal workspace for you. It may take a bit of time, but I'm sure if you put your mind to it, you can find that space that's right for you. And
you can.
And it could be just turning off your mobile phone. It could be unplugging the landline phone. It could be clearing all the other windows on your computer. It could be also telling your family and your friends, please do not phone me between these times. I will
Or if you-
ignore
or
you,
if you-
and
when you got
I
kids.
don't want the calls.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that works for you, you know, I mean, look, everyone wants a business, or a lot of people want a business of their own. Okay.
Yeah, a lot more than we realize, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, some people don't go down that route because of the chaos. You know,
True.
the other reasons is because of maybe they think they haven't got enough time, maybe they think they haven't got enough money. Okay. But what I would say to you, there's plenty of time. Okay. You make your own time. And I was talking about this earlier when I was talking about if you were reading books, you can do that on the train. You can listen to your CDs in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can
people don't listen to CDs anymore, Paul.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I do. No, but what I'm saying is audios. Yeah, you can listen. You can listen to them with earphones in, with a, you know, whatever you use, your phone or whatever. And it really, you know, at the end of the day, make it work. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, make it work. See, the big thing about being an entrepreneur is you've got to be daring and disruptive. And I don't want to mix that up with what we're doing here. You can be disrupted by the rubbish that's going on. You're allowed to steep in there. But at the same time, you have to be disruptive.
How?
Yeah? So you do things slightly different to everyone else. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you don't accept the norm. Now, if you're in a team business, it's a fine balancing line. Yes. Because you need to do things that are easily duplicatable and followed by other people. So you need to be able to coach them. But you do want that degree of individualism within people that's disruptive enough to make them unique. All right, we don't want to be clones at the end of the day, you know, and so that's important. And you're the reason I say this is because your thinking needs to be clear. For your thinking to be clear, maybe you need to clear the chaos first. Okay, as I say, it's going to be different for everyone. There's no one answer for everyone. Okay,
if each person's environment is completely unique, so you need to also it's helpful if you can identify the chaos first. You know, identify exactly what it is. Then once you've identified what it is, figure out for yourself, or work with somebody else, talk to somebody else about figuring out how can I change that chaos to suit me. And I, like, for example, you touched on it just now about finding the right space for you to be working in. Now, people are going to resign themselves to the fact they're going to think, well, I can't find somewhere else to work. I'm working from home right now because I'm forced to be at home. I can't go out to a restaurant or to a coffee shop and work from there. However, I'm sure there are spaces around in your environment, in your society, your community, wherever, where there is space. There are spaces still being rented out. You know, people might be renting out office spaces because they don't have anybody in the offices going to work. You know, it doesn't mean that those offices are dead space. They might be renting out that space for people like yourself, who's an entrepreneur, who just needs to sit by themselves and be able to do their work. That possibility could be there. You just don't know necessarily. Maybe you've looked and there isn't anything. But if you focus on that and you keep focusing on what your perfect environment will look like, feel like, sound like, okay, then you will attract that to you. That somewhere along the line, somebody will pop up in your life somehow through an ad or whatever the case may be, conversation, where you will find that space for you that is going to be suitable for you. You got to know what it is. So identify what is the chaos, and then start to figure out how can you overcome that chaos. What do you need to do? And maybe you need help from somebody as well. Maybe you need somebody to give you a helping hand, or be able to do. Somebody needs to do something in order to help you. You can figure it out. You just got to ask yourself the right questions.
Yeah, because I mean, look, you could sometimes. You haven't got all the pieces of the puzzle, as I like to say. You could have, let's say there's 8 pieces of the puzzle and you've only got 7. It looks incomplete. So if you can find a mentor or a coach or a friend or someone who knows what they're talking about, and they may better get you that last piece of the puzzle, which it could be worth a fortune to you, both in terms of money, time, and success. So, you know, the other thing about chaos, it could be your chaos, of course. Okay. It could be the overwhelming demands that either you've put on yourself or someone else has put on you.
Yeah.
Or you've allowed into your life, you know. So it's very, very important that you assess the challenges that you have and the hurdles and the obstacles and find ways around them, because it will, if you don't get it right, it will affect your sanity.
And this is where entrepreneurs very often, I find it's a pitfall for them, because when it comes to solutions, creating solutions, because they internalize everything, and then they don't necessarily go out and engage with other people to help find the solution. So, for example, like you mentioned now, there may be 8 parts to the chaos that you need to overcome, but you may only be aware of 6. Just because you're living it doesn't mean you're aware of everything that's happening around you. You may only be aware of 6 aspects or 6 parts of the chaos, but there could be 8. But if you start talking to somebody, if you engage with somebody in conversation, you used to go to somebody and say, look, I need some help with this piece. Can we just have a chat about this? They may identify the other 2 parts that you're not even consciously aware of. Yeah, it may be sitting right in front of your face, but you don't see it. So this is the other thing that I find. And when I say entrepreneurs, I'm also talking about people that are business owners. They're self-employed business owners. You know, they want to create their own product. They want to create their own brand, and they've been working for themselves for a number of years. And in my experience, people that often do this, and I'm one of them, is that they'd like to do things themselves. Majority of the time, they want to be able to do stuff themselves because they know they're going to get it done when they want to get it done, how they want to get it done. But you don't know the answers to everything. And you do need somebody to engage with and to be able to assist you as a coach, as a mentor, or whatever the case may be. You know, somebody that can help and guide you. And too often I see people in our field or in other fields where people are self-employed business owners, they don't engage enough. They don't ask for help enough. They think that they know it all and they can create the solutions themselves to all their problems in life. But when you are stuck in the woods, you can't see the woods for the trees. You need to go back and have somebody have a look at it from a different perspective.
I'm experiencing higher angle.
Yeah, I'm experiencing the same challenges with a client of mine, that I do coaching with. She has her own business, but I'm trying to get her to allow me into her space. She's so thus far we've kind of been working on her personally. Now I've identified how her world is impacting her business, and I'm trying to get her to allow me into that space so that I can take a look from a 3,000 foot, 30,000 foot point of view and be able to look into her business and say, okay, now I can see where things need to be worked, need to be changing. So yeah, it's achievable, it's doable. You just got to be brave enough to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unless you ask, you don't get. And the other thing added to that is that questions are the answers. So you can also ask yourself the questions and see if you can come up with the answers. And if you can't, get someone else to ask you the question and then to guide you. It's sometimes can be a lonely road being an entrepreneur.
Very often.
You are going to spend lots of time alone. Yeah. It's fantastic if you get 2 people who can work together hand in hand, like a husband and wife or something like that. But it doesn't happen, a lot, unfortunately. So yeah, it's very, very, very important. So be daring, but at the same time, be disruptive. I love that bit. But so what is the chaos that's causing you problems? Could it be distractions? Could it be that you're allowing people or things to put you off? Because I'll tell you now, if you lose concentration on the one major priority that you're working on, and it will affect it. It could affect it 100%, but it will definitely affect it up to about 50%. right? And for you to get back in that mental place that you need to be, and you may need to control everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, horrible being controlling. I don't mean like that, but you're controlling your environment. You know, as I say, you cannot afford to lose concentration. Okay, now different things will affect different people, so it's up to you to identify these things. Speak to someone if you can't, but and then deal with it. You know, it's very, very important. So yes, you can be determined, all right, but the unexpected can destroy focus, and that's what chaos can do to you. Yes, you can be passionate, you know, but again, if the phone call comes, or the person comes and as the naysayer, and you spend a bit more time with them than you should, they can put you off.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take very much to put you off. You know, yes, be a risk taker, you know, but make sure that you spend your time around other risk takers. All right.
No, I find that's especially from a business point of view. You know, when I'm working with somebody, I like to be around people like that because there's a number of reasons. They're not afraid to step out of their comfort zone. B, they very often have the most amazing ideas, you know. And C, it's you know, working with people that are risk takers. It's always a lesson. Every encounter is a lesson for both them and I find for myself. And working with somebody like that can really bring about the creative juices, you know. And it's a fantastic opportunity, I find, as well, for coaching somebody who's a risk taker, coaching them through a process, coaching them through a system, into a system, you know, because they just think differently. Not just I'm not talking about I'm not talking about entrepreneurs or business owners. I'm talking about actual risk takers. Yeah, that could be an employee somewhere. It could be somebody that has a job, but they're a risk taker. In heart, they're a risk taker, and they're not afraid to make mistakes. That's just
Because if you move fast and you realise you've gone down the wrong route, then you just reverse and go back and find another route. You know, it's like
yeah. And you mentioned about expectations being able to create chaos. I mean, not expectations, unexpected, creating chaos. But you should also, in saying that, you should be expecting the unexpected all the time.
yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. In other words,
No, you never know what's going to happen. From moment to moment.
But if there's one thing you really don't like, eliminate it. Get it out of the way. You know, because it will cause you problems. There's no doubt about it. You know.
And it's we've heard this. You and I have heard this. Sorry, Paul. You and I have heard this. We've heard this many times about, you know, sometimes you have to exclude the people in your life that no longer serve you.
Yeah.
All right. And very often the people that are in your life cause and create the chaos. So just think about, you know, you're trying to now, aside from business, you're trying to now get on a health kick, and you've got a family of 5, and you're the only one in the family that's on a health kick.
Yeah.
All right. Now, how much chaos is there around that? You know, when you're in a business environment, it's it's if not just as challenging, if not more challenging, because there's money involved now, and there's an investment involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't make a quick return, you get it in the ear sometimes.
True. So you sometimes need to detach. You need to learn how to detach from those people in order to safeguard yourself. And I'm not saying by, you know, changing the keys, the locks to the door, that kind of stuff. No.
Like that one. I never thought of that. Yeah, great.
I remember back in 2003, 4, and 5, up until 2006. You know, when I was back living with my family, after being out by myself for many years, and then I found myself, you know, on the streets, kind of thing. Back with my family were chaotic, man. I mean, they were really chaotic, and I had to, you know, I was stuck between a rock and a hard place because I had nowhere else to go. Number one, I wasn't earning a sufficient any income to be able to pay for rent or anything like that. I was literally just getting myself back on my feet again. However, at the same time, my family were in such a dire circumstances themselves, emotionally, financially, whatever the case may be, that it was wearing down on me. It was impacting my ability to change my own life. And eventually, although I was living in the same space as them, I had my own room and everything like that. I had to literally create, I don't know what it was, like create like a barrier around myself so that I was a what? A bubble. Yeah, I had to create a bubble around myself. So when I came home, I went straight to my room and I did what hello, 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 hello. And when I didn't want to be around them, I didn't want to be around them. And that was it. I excluded myself from the family as much as I could so that I had sanity and peace of mind for myself to be able to do the things that were important to me. Now, I love my family, I really do. But not everybody's suited to everybody else, especially family. And if it's not even family for you, if it's other people that are in your life that you just don't necessarily benefit you or you don't benefit them, then extract yourself from that situation, because that creates chaos, too much chaos, and it's definitely not healthy.
Do you know what is chaos? Watching too much reality TV.
Oh man.
I mean, look,
isn't
there is the occasional thing that is quite good.
That's an oxymoron, though. That's an oxymoron.
Yeah, but
reality TV. There's no reality TV.
No. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't watch TV very often now. I pick and choose what I watch to make sure that I don't get not watching soaps and reality TV and God. I mean, but that in itself would be another form of chaos for me. I turn it off. Don't want it on. Don't want it on. It's find it boring. I don't think it's real. And but anyway, that's a side issue. But when you're talking about environment, sort out what you want and make sure you control that environment. Right? You must have, because the things will come to challenge you. You must have a resilient mindset. Okay, flexible enough to deal with things, but not flexible enough to accept it all. Okay, so and that's what chaos is, and it's personal to you. It's something for you to deal with. So, with that, is there anything else you want to say about chaos?
There was something else I had in mind to say. Within all the chaos, there's a quiet voice. And if you can find a moment's peace and quiet and just listen to that voice within, very often it will be knocking so loud that you don't hear it. That if you can find that quiet space every once, and it could just be 10 minutes sitting in the car by yourself, where you have complete solitude, no distractions whatsoever, and just listen to your inner voice, and listen to what your inner voice tells you. And I'm not saying you're going to hear a big loud voice going, "Oh, no." Very often it's a feeling, it's an emotion, it's a feeling. And if you're thinking about something and you start to feel within your body what it is, you feel something, that's a message for you, and that's something that you can interpret. You can interpret it into your own words, and your own understanding. But trust yourself. As much as Paul and I have been talking about seeking help from others and engaging in conversation with other people, it's just as important, if not more empowering, when you can find the answers for yourself. Sometimes all you need is a 10-minute conversation with somebody, and you walk away from that conversation. All of a sudden, the answer comes to you like that. So yes, conversation helps, but that inner voice is so powerful and all-knowing. It really is. It knows so much more than you give yourself credit for. That if you just listen for a minute, the answers will will present themselves to you, and you will be able to escape from the chaos.
One thing we didn't get into too deeply, but you did mention a bit of it there, was the fact about the chaos in your mind sometimes. That could be for another call, but the same things apply on this. You know, the fact is you have to sort it out. But I'm done.
Okay.
So what I'm going to hand it over to you for your
to wrap up
your
my offer. Yeah. So look, in January, Paul and I we put out an offer to folks, and I'm going to put out something very similar. You know, the time has come for. Oh, thank you, Manette. Manette said thank you. You know, the time has come now again. It's March, where Paul and I are, you know, we're wanting to attract people into our space to work with us. And as you know, we are entrepreneurs, and this is a business chat. And him and I, we work, you know, just under 2 years ago, we partnered up with a company that is a 15-year-old company. It's fully established, debt-free. It trades on the North Nasdaq. Last year we did a turnover of 100 million euros a year, and we work with people, and we were looking to work with more people that are excited about life and possibilities, and how this environment that we find ourselves in now presents more opportunities. You know, and this is what we do. We provide opportunities for people to help them to look at something different that they may not necessarily be aware of, or let alone think about. And you know, this is we're excited about the future, Paul and I, because we know what the future can hold. And we're wanting to work with more. We're looking for 3 people each this month, to work with 3 people each that are excited about the future, that are excited about what possibilities lay ahead for us. And you don't have to be an entrepreneur, but if you've been thinking about being an entrepreneur and you're looking for an answer to something like that, then reach out to us, because we really want to take people, show people the ropes, inject them into a system. You know, we've spoken about the power of 3. We work, a lot of our work is based on the power of 3, and we trust that system, and we want to show other people, and it's our responsibility to share that information with as many people as possible, we believe. So in saying that, reach out to Paul and I. You can message here or wherever, okay? But at the end of the day, reach out, because we are looking for 3 people each, excited people that are not scared to step out of their comfort zone, and people that are looking for possibilities for themselves, their families, and their futures. Because this is who we are, and this is where we're moving towards, as I said, with this very solid company that is expanding around the globe as we speak. And last year had its best year in its 15-year history. Now that speaks volumes, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's me.
I'm not going to say anything. not on this subject anyway. But yeah, get in touch. That's all I'll say.
Please do.
Yeah.
And look, there's no strings attached as well. If you get in touch with us, if you like what you see, fantastic. If you don't like what you see, fantastic. We'll just exclude you from our podcast in the future. But no, seriously. But seriously, yeah, no strings attached. Just if you're open to the idea, let's explore the future together.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. Well, it's Wednesday. We're in. It's known as Hump Day, I believe, Wednesday, and we don't have a hump day because we never have the hump. We enjoy it all the time. So we look forward to 7 days a week. So our next call will be on Friday on healthylife.tv, which is a completely different subject altogether. And we look forward to people going there as well. So other than that, we'll see you next Wednesday. I understand we will be changing the days possibly of the calls, but we're not going to do it immediately, but we are considering changing it. So, but we'll let you know. So have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and we will speak to you soon.
Yeah. Speak to you soon, folks.
See you later.